Hey, hello everyone there. So my name still remains Okpe Oluwa Oni. So this is the part two of JAPA, JAPA and properties, right? You might be wondering which one is JAPA and properties, and so it's a part two of what I just did of recent, and I hope I'm able to touch on everything that I want to touch on in this in this property. Are you planning to travel out, or you're planning to, or you have already traveled out and you have been giving a thought about your property, giving it a whole lot of thought? So basically, this video is for you, and these are my thoughts that I've been able to put together. The first video was unscripted. I didn't really put any thoughts together. They were coming in my head. I began to just put them together. This is going to be very short, and I hope it will be very, very impactful. So plan and face the reality that uh, it can happen to you. You can get to a stage that your children will tell you that, Daddy, I'm not coming back to this country. You have properties, right? This is what can happen to you. All of a sudden, your property becomes abandoned. You don't want to. In fact, one of the challenges and people that have been able to cancel and intervene with is that most of them cannot even survive in Nigeria again. That's even the challenge. They can't survive in Nigeria again. And they just believe that one day, try to own a property. I always tell people, see, I was telling someone, I said, see, sell all your property in Nigeria. Just face the reality, yeah? And just have one 4 block of a flat. I'll be using it to do short let and be earning something. So anytime you come to Nigeria, and in case they change their mind, there's still something back home, and let them have it and put some structures in place. So that some of these structures is what we'll be looking at. But every other thing that will be much more complex, things like land and all of those things, just sell it off, right? Just sell it off and go and invest in that property in the country where you reside, where your families are. It is better that way, right? Own properties in US, start estates in US, buy land in US. The same thing you can do in Nigeria, you can do it in any other part of the world. If I can even do it much more better, right? Um, um, so you can peep into the future by talking to others that have gone through this. And that is one of the things that we often don't do. We travel out, we talk to people that just left 6 months ago, and those ones are still in the honeymoon stage, right? The reality of life has not hit them. Somebody said there are two types of pain: pain of sacrifice, pain of regret, right? So some of them are wallowing in regret. They've made mistakes. So instead of you not to learn by other people's experience, why not you just learn? Sorry, instead of you to learn by your own experience, why don't you just learn by other people's experience? So what are the steps that you can take? Whether you want to run out, sorry, you want to leave Nigeria, you have left Nigeria, your father has a property in Nigeria, and all of those things. It cannot be exhaustive. So these are just thoughts that I've noted, and one of the things I've helped people, I've put together to help people. I don't teach theory. I mean, I teach based on stories, sitting down with people that own properties over and over and over and over again. In fact, um, one of the things I even realized while I was looking at the unscripted was the fact that even not, I mean, a sister came to meet me one time. They are all girls. Their father left property. Their mom was managing the property, but they are just they are just so disinterested in those properties, and they are just those. They are in Nigeria. They are just so disinterested in properties and all of that, and they will ask me, okay, this property, we put somebody there. I just told them, see, can you do this, do this, do this? Okay, you can't do it. It can't give you cash flow, just sell it off, right? Don't be emotionally attached to things, right? Sell it off. So property is supposed to be doing two things for you: giving you cash flow or appreciating in value. And if you cannot secure it, how will you enjoy it if it appreciates in value? I just told him to sell it off. Okay. One of the other things that I remember somebody was telling me about some of their family members managing their property for them, and they can't uh, really lay hold on what the guy is bringing in. I said, see, get a professional, pay professional, and get a professional service. So these are some of the things I'm going to be looking at today. Number one is take stock of all your properties and assets. You are in Nigeria, you're outside Nigeria, you want to leave, take stock of all your properties in Nigeria, depending on the situation that you are. Um, After taking stock, you can look at, like I mentioned, I told that man, it's easier for you to manage that one unit or maybe several units like that since they are houses and you'll be getting rent using for short let and all of those, it's done for you to have 100 acres somewhere in outskirts of Kwara State, my brother. It's almost going to be impossible for you to manage it, or somewhere outskirts of one livable area or stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's almost impossible for you to manage those property. Yeah, you can always use it as the stepping stone to buy other property in the country that you are staying right now. Okay. The next step is, after taking stock, hire a property lawyer that understand property laws and management in Nigeria, right? So it will help you how you should manage your estates. That's portfolios of real estate, an area of will, trustees, who the executors are, and all of those details. There are integrities that are unique when the executors are not in Nigeria. Yes, it's very, very important. You need to sit down with a lawyer, a Nigerian lawyer that understands property. That is local. Don't give it to people that we outsource it to someone else and all of those things. Okay. So the other thing you should do is outline how you want to get the property to be managed. From the advice, they'll give you multiple advice options and all of those. You sit down with your children and see. Sincerity and awareness is very, very important when you're having this conversation and discussion with them. You sit down with them and say, okay, see, this is the situation of things. What do you? Because at the end of the day, that's why we need to tidy up our homes, because eventually they own the property, right? Especially if they are too young, probably you sit down with your spouse and decide with them and all of those things, or you can include some of your siblings too, okay, in doing this. I was watching a movie and it's really joggled my brain. So the husband and wife had a near-death experience, and the husband asked a question. He said, if we had both died today, who will take care of this? They have a toddler. Who will take care of this child? They listed all the people that could have taken up, that is close to them, that can take care of it. And they asked themselves, are we ready to allow this person to take care of our child? And they told themselves sincere question, answer and respond that no, these people can take care of their children. They don't even want them close to their children, right? And the person they could take, okay, the first set of list were family members. The next set of people that they could think of were not family, they were just colleagues. And they approached those people that, see, in case we do a dangerous job, in case I died, can you take care of my child? Can you just take it up? And they agreed. Okay, because we need to be have a realistic expectations about ourselves, couples, marriages, and all of those things. Death is something that will happen to everybody. I'm not saying we will die right now, or if you are old, you eventually die anyway. But we just need to face some of these realities and get over them and plan. It's very, very important. Okay, you don't just want to drop dead without planning. Okay, so then communicate with the family. I think that's the next one, which I've mentioned. Then after that, you get your property, asset, and documentation intact. Let the family know where the property document is. Let the lawyer know where the property document is. Please get them tidy. Friends don't have any business, because one of the things that happen is that most of the time nobody knows, right? For instance, I had a story today. This one just happened today, and the person was seeking my advice. Said that the man had a will, he did a will, give some of the children the property, and the mother of these children said no, that the man can't do a will and give the children, that he's still alive, that he was the one that the man told him that he's the owner of the property if he dies. The woman is the owner of the property if he dies first. And if she dies first, the man is the owner. I was wondering, why this whole confusion, right? So complexity can happen, but communication is very, very important, and get all these documents. And the mother was the one that was in charge of the documents. So get all these documents in place and all of those things. Okay, that's very, very important. And the other dimension again is that you need to look at what this lack of planning will cause. Because if you don't look at what you will lose when you don't plan, it does not spoil you to really plan at times. Okay, so when you don't plan, number one, the state can step in and take over your property. Yes, it happens in Lagos and all of those things. Number two, there can be legal dispute on ownership. So you don't want legal dispute on things that you've worked for, labor for, and all of those things. Number three, there can be family dispute. Brother is fight, like this one I even told you about. Even though there was a will, but there was really no communication, right? And now there's a dispute among family members, right? This is even mother and son, and unfortunately one of them passed on recently. Okay, number four is unscrupulous people will take over. People that don't even know this. Like I was sharing with you, the son of the driver now is the one like selling land, forging the man's signature and all of those things. Okay. And number five is loss of asset and property and money. And so if you lose some of this property, you can't transfer generational wealth, which is very, very painful. The more reason why we work sometimes is so that we can give our children and our offspring head start in life. And if you can't achieve that, it's total failure. Okay, so my name still remains Okwe Uluwani. I believe some of these thoughts has helped, and if they have helped, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, go and win. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot win. You are born to win. So play big so that you can win big. Bye.